Okay, now let's look at some word problems based on your understanding of how to find the original amount for fractions. Now that you've understood, let's just first do some practice and review of what you learned. Remember, if you have to find 2/3 of a certain quantity, which is given as 8, and you want to know what that original amount was, well, you know that even if you use your common sense, you know that 2/3 of this amount here makes 8 lipsticks. That means if you break these 8 lipsticks into 2 equal groups out of 3, that's how you get 8, right? So each group must be having 4. So 2 equal groups make 8, so 1 is 4. We know that. So if one group is 4, then there are 3 groups altogether. That should be 12. It's just common sense. It's the same thing that we do here. If we break 8 into 2 equal groups, which means if we flip this over, now we divide 8 by 2, break it into 2 equal groups like we've done over here, then each one of those groups will have 4 lipsticks right there. And so since there are 3 groups, which we put on top there, it's just easy to multiply across. We know that in that case, it'll be 4 times 3, which is 12. That's all. You can just use your common sense and you'll get the idea. Let's look at another one without the pictures. 3/5 of a certain amount is 9. You know all these 3 parts out of 5 make 9. So and they're all equal, so each part must be 3. So all 5 parts must be 15. So this is what we did, 3/5 times, and we know that if we multiply, if we divide 9 by 3/5, which means we flip it over, and that's exactly what we're doing here. 9, one of those fifths is 3, so 5 of them is 15. There we go. Let's try another one. You do it. What's the answer? What's the answer of this? Do it in your head. 3 of them is 12, so one of them is 4. So 4 of them will be 4 times 4, 16. How many of you could do that? Try to do it that way. Okay, try to do it in your head. Flip it over. That's right. 3 of them is 12, one of them is 4. 4 times 4 is 16. Okay, you try this one, the next one. Okay, what's the answer? How many can do this? Try it. Take it as a challenge. Yeah, 5 of them is 15. 5 all equal parts of 15. You got it. I think some of you have the answer, 21. Exactly. So if you use it intuitively, use your common sense. It's very, very simple. So 3 of them, 1 is 3 of them. So 7 parts would be 21. Okay, let's try to do a word problem. Let's look at this word problem here. Half the cups on a shelf were packed in a box. So here's a shelf, and half the cups on the shelf, that means on the shelf, basically half the shelf. Half of this whole shelf has been packed in a box. And if the box now has 7 cups, that means if we took out all this bit here and we put it in there, there's 7 of them. How many cups were there on the shelf before we started the packing? Well, half of this total amount here is what? Is 7. So half of what is 7? Oh, that's easy. Half of 14 is 7. Divide 7 by half and you'll get the answer. So it's 2 times 7, which is 14. Okay, that was a little too easy. Let's give you, so that's 7 here, the first half. The second half is here, and we have 14 on the shelf. Let's try this. Amanda is 4/7 her brother's age. If she's 16 years old, how old is her brother? Now that's more interesting. If we write this down, this is the first sentence. This statement, let's write it down as a kind of a sentence like this. Amanda's age is 4/7 of her brother's age. That's what we're really saying. And we know that of means to multiply. Amanda's age means equal to. So we have a mathematical sentence which has an equality sign in between. So you have an equation. This side on the left is equal to this side on the right. We got that. Now we know she's 16 years old, and how old is her brother? We need to find her brother's age, right? So that's the one we don't know. We don't know what her brother's age is. So we make a box and show the brother's age will be written inside the box. We don't know what it is, but that's where we'll write the unknown, when it becomes known. Okay, so Amanda's age we do know, it's 16, so we make this 16. There you have it. 4/7 of something is 16. Get it? It's so simple. If we write it down as 4/7 times something is 16, what is this something? Who can write the answer straight away? 4 parts out of 7 is 16, and they're all equal, right? So each part must be 4, so 7 parts will be 28. Yes, it's so easy. So 4/7 divided, turn it over, and that's what we did. 4, there you go. The brother's age is 28. So how old is a brother? A brother is 28 years old. So let's look at this problem. John spent 3/8 of his money on food. So if we show all of his money before spending, it was this much. And he spent 3/8, which means we break them into 8 equal parts, and 3 of those parts went on food. And the remaining parts here, how much is that? What fraction is that? Not how much money, but what fraction of the money is this? Yes, 5/8. Okay, good. 5/8 is the fraction that's still left. Now it says he was left with $25 here, right? So these 5 equal parts must be equal to 25. You can figure out already what the answer is. So 5/8 of the money before spending is equal to $25. Now we don't know what the money was before spending, so we turn that into a little square and we say 5/8 of whatever this amount is before spending is $25. Now who can find the answer to this? Do it in your head, mentally. It's that easy. That's right, it'll be 40, obviously. Some of you figured it out long before we came here. So 5/8, well, 5 parts is 25, 1 part is 5, 8 parts is 40, obviously. So let's do the division thing. So divide 25 by 5/8, and what have we got here? Flip it over, 1 part is 5, 8 parts is 40. All of those parts all together. Each 8th is 5th. So 8/8 will be 40. And that's your answer. So how much money did he have before spending? Well, he had $40. As simple as that. Keep your mind sharp. Keep your thinking clear. Keep your understanding clear. And your concepts very clear and well understood. You won't be able to let any of these problems beat you. What about Josh spent 3/5 of his money on a book? So this time, that's all his money. He's reading a book. That's the book he bought. And if he had a certain amount of money, that was all his money. You break into 5 equal parts, then 3 of those parts went in this book. Okay, so 3/5 is gone. Obviously, this is what's left is 2/5. Now, he spent half the remaining money on a meal. He spent half the remaining money on a meal. That in this bit, well, this is obviously 2/5. This is remaining money, and half of it went on this meal. So you take half of this here is gone. Half of 2/5 obviously is 1/5. So 1/5 of his money is spent on food. Now he's left with $16. That means this is the amount that he's left with. It must be 16. So if each 5th is 16, all his money at 5/5. That's 16 times 5. All his money was Think like that. Think like that. 1/5 of all his money is $16, right? So how much was all his money? 16 divided by 1/5, that's how you'll get it, is the same thing. And so all 5 parts will be 5 times 16, which is $80. There you go. So some word problems you can do very easily if you think clearly, if your concepts of fractions are clear, if your understanding is deep, and your hope and your confidence is big and strong. Hang on to that confidence, hang on to your faith in yourself, and you'll do just wonders. Take care. Have a great day. See you around next time. Bye-bye.